Now on CoastTV News.
Rev your engines. This morning, the annual Endless Summer Cruisin event is back in Ocean City. It's 4 days, hundreds of classic, custom, and one-of-a-kind cars. A plan to end the war. Israel and Hamas say they've agreed to phase 1 of a ceasefire. What could be decided at today's high-stakes meeting overseas?
This is CoastTV News Midday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. Today is Thursday, October 9th. I'm Grace Eckerly and welcome to CoastTV News Midday. The annual Endless Summer Cruisin event back in Ocean City. On your screen right now is the boardwalk parade that began just 3 hours ago. Now, the 4-day event showcases hundreds of different and unique cars, from hot rods to classics, trucks, and even some of the newest cars hitting the streets. Something one vacationer we spoke to says they love to see every year.
I just love coming to car shows and being around people and learn more about all the vehicles that they have and talking to people.
The event will go on until Sunday night. A $15 ticket or $10 on Sunday gets you into the parking lots to check out the cool cars, and anyone under the age of 14 is free. Let's take a live look into a rather sunny Dover this morning. We have our first alert meteorologist, Chris Mastrogiorno, joining us now. And Chris, a lot of talk in the newsroom this morning about a possible nor'easter. What does that mean for our coast this weekend?
Yeah, we have a big storm brewing towards the tail end of the weekend that could pose some significant impacts to the Delmarva Peninsula. For now, we are enjoying an autumn chill. Beautiful skies there in Salisbury, 61 degrees. Dew points are in the 40s. We're about 7 to nearly 15 degrees cooler across the peninsula than where we were at this time yesterday. We're holding at 59, Lewis 62 in Milton, and we are at 60 in Laurel. It's breezy out there, especially at the coast. We're seeing gusts upwards of 22 in Georgetown, 27 Indian River Inlet. Sunny skies, a few high clouds rolling in off the ocean, but high pressure is really going to dominate our weather to round out the week. But that's going to change as we approach the weekend. Highs today in the mid to some upper 60s are possible southern Delmarva, but will fall to around 55 around 9 o'clock under clear skies. It's going to be a chilly night, maybe some isolated frost inland Delmarva. But all eyes are on a coastal storm this weekend, Saturday night into Monday. This is going to be a prolonged event, all about track and intensity with this storm, but potential significant impacts from heavy rain, high winds, especially at the coast, that is going to lead to coastal flooding and beach erosion. We'll dive deeper into the coastal storm threat this weekend in that full 7-day forecast a little later on in the newscast. Grace.
Thanks, Chris. Happening today, Delaware dogs may need to pause before they bark. House Bill 124 is now the law. According to the legislation, dog owners are banned from allowing their dogs to bark for extended periods of time. Now, the legislation describes this as a continuously for 15 minutes or intermittently 30 minutes or more. And while there are a few conditional exceptions, dog owners could be fined $150 for violating. The Delaware State Police say they're looking for 43-year-old Darnell Andrews from Millsboro. Police now asking for your help. Police say Andrews is wanted for felony assault charges after a domestic-related altercation, and troopers say it happened in the Rehoboth Walmart parking lot. Now, police say they've made attempts to contact and locate Andrews. Those have been unsuccessful. Today in Georgetown, the latest of Delaware Governor Matt Meyer's statewide listening sessions on gun violence prevention. Now, Meyer says the purpose of the sessions is to help develop policies and programs to drive down gun violence cases. In May, Meyer signed an executive order creating the Office of Gun Violence Prevention and Community Safety. Today's listening session is at 6 p.m. at the Delaware State Fire School on Park Avenue. Also happening today in Sussex County, Emergency Operations Center is recognizing its first responders. The agency says today is 911 Awareness Day. On your screen is how county leaders celebrated in 2024, just last year, and students from all over Sussex County were able to find out what it's like to actually be a first responder. Those children learned about different first responder agencies, and this is an annual event that has occurred since 2003. New this morning, Israel and Hamas say that they've agreed to phase 1 of a ceasefire plan. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he's convening his government to sign off on it today. This involves an end to the fighting and the return of the hostages that Hamas is holding. Now, the Israeli government believes 20 of them still alive, and President Donald Trump says their release could begin on Monday. Coming up on CoastTV News Midday, Hornets honoring history. Members from the 1985 championship Delaware State University football team are holding a reunion this Friday. How their coach changed the course of life for players and developed a lasting bond. That's this week's Coastal Connections, and it's up next.
One of the greatest football seasons in Delaware State University history took place 40 years ago. And in this week's Coastal Connections, on the eve of the reunion of this team, we look at how a coach with strong ties in Lewis was able to bring together a group of men, change their lives, and establish lifelong friendships and memories.
As you look at Bill Colick, their first-year head coach.
And what a first season it was in 1985. When it concluded, Delaware State had their first conference championship in 26 years. Colick was named MEAC Coach of the Year. However, for the former Cape Henlopen High School student, teacher, and coach, the season could have played out in Harrisonburg, Virginia, and not in Dover. Following the 1984 campaign, the Hornets head coach Joe Przicki took the job at James Madison.
You were the defensive.
Colick was his defensive coordinator at the time.
They really wanted to take all of us with him, and it sounded exciting. However, I was married and my wife was expecting with our second child. And I had worked at BB for a while, and she said to me one day, you know, this whole football thing can be fleeting.
Soon after he told Przicki no, he told Delaware State yes to taking the role as the Hornets head coach.
I was excited because Coach was my defensive coordinator when I was at Cape Henlopen High School. So, you know, when we found out that Coach was going to be the head coach, I mean, I was just ready and just ready to go.
Number 98 for the Hornets, Tim Gray, was a standout player at Cape Henlopen. With Colick as his assistant coach, he helped lead the Vikings to the 1979 state championship, and that connection helped in the recruiting process.
I was reluctant because I had my mind set on going into the Army, active duty. And, you know, Coach in his way of saying, he said, you know, Timmy Gray, you know, you'll be the first in your family to go to college. First generation.
After a loss in their 8th game, the Hornets traveled to Baton Rouge for a nationally televised matchup with traditional, historically black college and university power, Southern.
It's just totally different. I mean, the way we did the walkthrough, the way there's media everywhere, and you know what I mean? It's just different, you know, which also meant that we were important because we were here.
We just went down there and we just basically destroyed them. You know, and you know, Southern, you know, their band was again well known. So probably after the third quarter, they was playing for us and not them.
As the game comes to an end, the final score 46-8.
The Hornets would finish the regular season with a 9-2 record, ranked 12th in the nation, champions of the MEAC, and awaiting the announcement of a spot in the Division I AA playoffs. An announcement that never came.
You do everything you're asked to do. You show up early, you show up on time, you're prepared, you do what you're supposed to do, and it's almost like, okay, so where are the football gods and tell us, okay, you guys are in. And it just didn't work that way. So it took a while for us to be able to let that go and really get back and enjoy and embrace the MEAC championship.
What's going on?
But embrace it they have over the years, and now, on this milestone anniversary, they will head to Dover for a reunion.
Whenever you get the chance to see them, you know, you cherish that moment. You know, 40 years, I mean, whew, that's a minute. 40 years, and like I said, you know, we all been blessed, and hopefully God will see us through it, that, you know, we get to see each other on the 10th.
10 days into October to remember a time 40 years ago.
The game comes to an end.
When this group made history and formed an everlasting bond. For Coastal Connections, I'm Matt Pensick.
With the long travel from
Well, we said so long to that humidity we had yesterday. That cold front pushed through and pushed that humidity right out. Look at the dew points, 45. You feel that nice fall crisp in the air. 61 degrees right now in Cambridge. We're at 60 Bridgeville, 63 in Milton, and we're at 61 in Rehoboth. Quite breezy out there. We're seeing gusts anywhere 20 to 30 miles an hour, 28 in River Inlet and 22 in Georgetown. We have a coastal flood watch. This goes into effect Sunday and runs through Monday. We're going to be dealing with all kind of coastal flooding issues as we go into the weekend with this coastal storm. And we also have a storm watch up for the entire Delmarva coast, and that runs through Monday as well. We have also, look at that, frost advisories north and west of the I-95 corridor. We could see some patchy frost interior Delmarva tonight, depending upon how the winds relax overnight. Now, we're seeing a few high clouds stream in off the Atlantic, but pretty quiet throughout much of the northeast and mid-Atlantic, all thanks to high pressure to the north. This front that pushed through yesterday, that cleared out the humidity, stalled out over the Carolinas. Our coastal low is going to be developing along that front over the weekend. In the meantime, we're enjoying beautiful skies out there, breezy conditions, temperatures in the 60s today, and all eyes on the weekend for that coastal low that will be impacting us Saturday night through Monday and potentially even lingering into Tuesday. Mostly sunny skies today, temperatures in the mid to upper 60s, a beautiful evening, a chilly night, and a cool start to our Friday. Some areas away from the coast starting in the upper 30s. We start the day tomorrow with sunshine. High clouds will be increasing through the day, and we're going to see mostly cloudy skies into the start of the weekend. Winds today anywhere from about 20-25 miles an hour. We'll see more of an east wind on Friday, and then the breeziness only intensifies through the weekend, and then it's going to be downright windy as we get into the second half of the weekend. So this coastal low, as it approaches us, still questions as to how close it's going to get to the coast, and that will be the determining factor as to how much rain and how much wind we see. On average, we could see about 3 to even more than 5 inches of rain in some parts of the area, 40 to 60 mile an hour wind gusts. So we see the rain begin Saturday evening, wind-driven rain, heavy at times. The peak of the storm looks like it's going to be Sunday, late Sunday afternoon through Sunday evening. That's when we can see the peak winds primarily at the coast, gusting as high as 60 miles an hour. Moderate to major coastal flooding is going to be likely as we get into the height of this storm, as Futurecast shows that heavy rain building in by Sunday evening, Sunday afternoon. And you see the area of low pressure just offshore. That's going to be key as to how close it gets to us, and we're going to be dealing with coastal flooding issues, Back Bay and Oceanside, as we get into early next week. Rainfall, as I mentioned, on the order of 2 to as much as 5 inches of rain, and then there's those winds. Look at those winds by Sunday evening, 60 mile an hour gusts, so power outages are very possible as we get into the height of this system, and then by Tuesday we should see those winds begin to relax. Tropical Storm Jerry on the verge of becoming a hurricane here over the next day, and this may have some influence as to the overall track of the system that's going to be impacting us along the East Coast. 63 on Monday with those temperatures in the low 60s with all the rain and wind. We finally dry out by Tuesday afternoon, and we're back up to 70 degrees by Wednesday.
Well, we're getting closer and closer to the end of the week, but we're not quite there yet, and we've got a little more fun for you if you join us today at 4 o'clock on Coast Life. It is spooky season, so we're going to be checking out a really cool haunted house. Speaking of October, there's plenty more going on to celebrate both spooky season and the not so spooky events over at Shelbyville. And because it is Thursday, we can't get through the day without spilling a little tea, spilling a little drama. Ooh, this one has to do with our four-legged friends. All that fun and more is happening today at 4 on Coast Life. We'll see you then.
Lewis is moving forward with plans to restore the 4th Street Preserve. Now, this is a project that's aimed at turning an open plot of land into a wooded habitat of native species. Now, the city's Economic Environment and Resiliency Committee met this week to discuss the next steps in creating healthy and balanced ecosystems. Now, organizers say they will begin removing English ivy from the preserve this fall, marking the first step in managing those invasive plants.
This is going to be able to help them gather information as to, I guess, the soil and other vital studies to create a nice place for all of us to enjoy.
Some of those other action items include getting permits from the Sussex Conservation District for stormwater management and developing a 10-year habitat restoration plan that aims to combine simultaneous native tree planting with the invasive species removal. And organizers say the long-term vision is a self-sufficient forest that supports biodiversity, wildlife, and community access. Coast TV News Midday will be back after the break. Just in this morning, the 2026 to 2027 school choice application period opens November 3rd at 8 a.m. All applications for Indian River School District must be submitted online, and parents can request up to 3 schools, but you only need to apply to those that are of interest.
Well, we have a beautiful day on tap here on Delmarva. Highs in the 60s, temperatures in the 60s, 62 right now in Laurel. Plenty of sunshine through the afternoon. And congratulations to our umbrella winner. We have Michael Hobbs, Millsboro, Delaware, winner of our Paul Davis Weather Umbrella. Coming up, we will have that 10-day forecast right after the break. Well, if you're heading on down to the Endless Summer Cruisin Festival there in Ocean City, looking pretty good today, and even tomorrow will be good. Clouds increase, but conditions deteriorate late Saturday through Sunday as rain, wind, and coastal flooding issues work into the area, all thanks to the coastal storm that we're tracking. You get the latest forecast by dialing the First Alert weather phone. So rain rolls in late Saturday through Sunday and Monday. The worst of the system right now looks to be late Sunday afternoon through Sunday evening, where we could see up to 60-mile-an-hour winds at the coast. We'll continue to track this storm for the remainder of the week. Grace.
Thanks, Chris, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News Midday. If you'd like more local news and weather, you can download our Coast TV News app. And don't forget to join us right back here for Coast TV News at 5 just later this afternoon. Until then, have a great day.